Today's ritual is all about the Pisces new moon that's happening this weekend. So if you are ready to settle into some new moon vibes, to start manifesting some new things, to seed this new moon, today is going to be all about that. And what we're seeding today with this Pisces new moon is a new faith in our creative vision. And so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about what does it mean to have faith in your creative vision, and how can we bridge the gap between where we are right now and where we want to be in the future. Hi, itty bitty, welcome. So everybody just come on in, get settled in. I'm going to look at my notes here. Oh, you might want to have a journal with you today or something to write on and write with. So I've got a little journal and a pen. Nothing fancy, but we will be doing some journaling today like we usually do for new moons. So I'm going to title the top of my new moon in Pisces, so I know what the heck I was writing about on this day. Oh my goodness. We're already like a week into March, if you can believe it. Time is just, I don't even know. It's working really wonky for me, at least. I don't know if any of you can relate to time just being weird. But yeah, time feels like it's, I don't know, instantaneously just moved on like a month sometimes. All right. So, Pisces new moon, a new faith in our creative vision. Ooh. So, I want to talk about faith, and I want to invite all of us to detach from any preconceived notions we have about faith or what faith is based on maybe how we were raised or our cultural definitions, or if we were raised in a particular religion, how that views faith. But instead, invite some spaciousness today and some openness into create our own definition of faith. And I'm going to challenge maybe and invite you to open up to a potential where faith has nothing to do with believing blindly. That it isn't about kind of a fanciful thinking that's not grounded in any sort of truth, and that we are just making stuff up basically and choosing to believe in it. But instead, can we find a way to ground faith in a very real truth that we are creating our experience, and our perspective through which we perceive our lives is ours to control and shape. And so with Pisces, there's this very interesting paradoxical energy, right? Where on the one hand, you have Virgo, it's opposing energy that's based very much so in reality that you can touch, feel, earth, right? It's solid or seemingly solid. And that's what Pisces is saying, seemingly solid, right? It's very paradoxical because it is actually not solid at all. And reality as we know it is really just the manifestation of imagination and non-physical. So we're always asked when we're playing with Piscean energy to play with those two fish that seem to be swimming in opposing directions. And as I was feeling into this live and like, what are we going to talk about, Spirit? I was reminded of the Pisces symbol and was told to let's focus on the Pisces symbol. So the traditional glyph for Pisces, you have these two, and it hadn't ever dawned on me until yesterday that they kind of look like crescent moons, right? Like this would be a waxing moon and this would be a waning moon, okay? But then there's this line that joins them. And I felt that this first one really is like reality, right? It's what we see, what we know, what we tell ourselves is real. And then we have this other half of the equation that seems to be opposing, right? Our imagination, our vision, our intuition, all of those things that you can't really grab or hold of, right? And in the physical, okay? And they seem to be opposed. They're facing away from each other like they have their backs to one another. But the Pisces glyph says, no, there's a bridge here between the two. And it's in the center. And I feel that this very strongly is pointing us to our center, right? Because you could say this looks like a human legs and arms. And here, the center glyph might be the heart. And what I have learned and practiced in my own spiritual studies and how I've grown through my spiritual teachers is really that the heart, when you feel it in your heart, it can become whatever it is that you feel in your heart. And we've talked a lot about that with Awakened Creators, is how do we get access to our heart, shed some layers of not self so that we can really feel into our heart space in terms of what we want to create, both through our artwork and our lives just in general. And if we can feel it in our heart space, it can become reality somewhere out there, right? Is the non-physical vibration of what we seek, that we feel it in our heart. And if we keep focusing on that feeling and reminding ourselves that we're not believing blindly, we can feel it. And if we can feel it, then it is as real as anything else. Just like your past doesn't actually exist anymore, right? It's gone. It's done. That now is over. But if you wanted to access your past, you could do so how? Through a feeling. You could feel what it felt like in that moment. You could go back through your feeling. And so being a water sign, Pisces is pointing always to the emotional vibration of emotions, which carries information. And it doesn't just carry information about what's been, it carries information about what can become. So at this Pisces new moon, I'm feeling strongly that we are called as Awakened Creators to tap into what can we feel coming, even though we can't see it at all, maybe. Maybe there's zero evidence in the physical that that's possible, but we can feel it in our hearts. And if we can feel it in our hearts, right over here, in our imaginations, in our intuition, if we can feel it, then it can manifest over here in physical reality. If we can hold the wave, right? The emotional waves, the waters, if we can hold the wave. So that's what we're going to explore today in our journals, and then also feeling called to a guided meditation. All right, so we talked about the Pisces symbol. Hi, sis. We talked about the bridge between reality and our imagination, or our creative vision, however you want to describe it, or our faith, right? So we're feeling the vibration of what's possible for us. That's why our faith's not blind. We feel it, we know it in our hearts, right? So I want you to start thinking about, what do you know in your heart? What do you know? Not what you know, right, in your head, okay? So there's a difference between knowing and knowing, right? So we're moving away from, as a species, as humanity, from knowing up here, right? Knowing because we've studied it, or we've logicked it out, or we've looked at the evidence of what other people have done, and well, they've done it that way, so that must be the way to do it. Or by knowing through giving an authority power, well, they know, therefore I know, okay? And we're moving away from that form of knowing, and we're moving towards a heart-based form of knowing, where you feel it in your heart to be true, where you feel it in your heart that that person's trustworthy, or you feel it in your heart that this is the right way to go, or you feel it in your heart that that's the color, or that's the note, or that's the way to move your body. So through your creative expression, you're using your knowing of the heart, which is why it's so important to cultivate a strong relationship with your heart so that you can feel it when it's saying this way or that way, right? Instead of using your brain up here, which is only ever going through what it's known before. So it's not open to infinite potentialities like the heart is, because it's only referencing past points of reference, right? But your heart is open and connected to all, and so can know many, many pathways and many, many routes and many, many potentials. So what do you know in your heart? Okay, I want you to think about that. And I also want you to think about some of the things that you would like to call into your creative life. So let's consider your creative vision, okay? What are some things that are involved in your creative vision? And if you feel like sharing them, I would love to hear from you. What is part of your creative vision, okay? And I want to encourage you to write down things that you literally have no idea how it's going to happen, okay? You have zero clue how these things will be possible. But something in you knows, okay? That's what we're going to bridge the gap today. So what do you know in your heart, but you don't know in your head? And write those things down about your creative journey. What do you know in your heart, but you don't know in your head? about your creative journey and what's in store for you. Just sit with that for a moment. What do you know in your heart that you don't know in your head how it's possible? All right, so hopefully you have a couple of different ideas here of elements of your creative path, your vision for your future that you know in your heart, but you don't know in your mind. You have zero evidence maybe that any of this is actually possible for you, but you know it in your heart. You can feel it as a potential reality in your heart space. So I will share one. So I have this knowing in my heart that one of my stories will be made into a movie one day. Zero evidence for this. Zero evidence. The story's not even finished, much less published. But I know it in my heart, and I've seen it in my imagination so many times. Sitting in the premiere of the movie they've made out of my story, that I know it in my heart to be real. So, what is something that you know in your heart about your creative future, your vision for your creative future that you have no evidence for? Write those things down. And the thing about Pisces is it is bound by nothing. I don't know how many of you have ever known a Pisces, or maybe you are a Pisces, but in my limited experience with Piscean people, they really can access big dreams. Crazy, like, how would that even make any sense? You know, you're hearing their dream and you're like, what? But it's because it's so unbound by reality, right? It's again that paradox of everything that we feel is real started in the imagination. It started in an imaginary realm and it became real. So there are no boundaries there. It's water, it's fluid, it goes in all directions, right? Unless it's contained, right? In a container, it's going to spread around. So don't let limitations have any say in this ritual right now. Grant yourself permission to dream big. All right. Okay. So now that we know what our heart knows, we are going to bridge the gap And we're going to do this through meditation. So I'm going to invite you to set your journals down for just a moment. And I have some affirmations I'll be sharing with you all throughout this meditation. But wherever you are, I want to invite you to get even more comfortable in your seat. Maybe you make some small adjustments to the way you're sitting or where you're sitting. Placing your hands palm up on your legs or in your lap, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. And we have our palms up because we want to be in a receptive state, open, right? And the open palms represent this to the subconscious mind. So we are sending signals to our subconscious mind that we are open and receptive. And as you're sitting in this relaxed position with your palms open, I would normally draw your attention to your breath, but I'm being called to draw your attention instead to the empty space in your palm. Now that may sound strange, but if you can close your eyes and bring your awareness to the empty space within your palm, you may begin to notice a strange sensation, an energy, something you can feel but you can't see. Almost as if you are holding balls of energy in your open palms. And we're being guided to remind ourselves that this is our creative potential and power, that we can literally sense and feel energy before it's manifested into the physical realm. And if you would like to, I would invite you to begin to color these balls of energy in your palms, whatever color delights you. Maybe you imagine yourself holding pink orbs of energy. Maybe the energy is yellow or blue. The color is specific to you, and your imagination is going to add whatever color that resonates with you right now. And as you are focused on these orbs of energy in your hands, begin to imagine that they are starting to spin. And I'm seeing that the left one is spinning counterclockwise, and the right one is spinning clockwise. And just continue to breathe gently and focus all of your attention on these spinning orbs of energy in your hands. And as you watch these orbs spin, like images in a crystal ball, begin to see and feel the creative vision that you wrote down being actualized. So whatever vision that you had for your creative future, see it playing out in these orbs. It's just a faint image, a moving picture of whatever it is that you envision for your future as a creator. See it happening inside these orbs of energy. And give yourself permission to feel those little scenes playing out in your orb, to really feel them. Feel what you would be feeling in those moments. Whether it's elation or pride or connection or love or peace. Picture yourself living out that vision that you see in these orbs. That what used to be imaginary has actually become materialized. And I welcome you to wear a slight smile on your face. Just a very slight, gentle smile. Knowing that you have created a reality that aligns with your creative vision, that aligns with your heart. And I invite you to slowly begin to bring these orbs by raising your hands and bring them one at a time into your heart space. So bringing the right palm and the orb slowly, feeling that energy still in your hand, seeing those images still reflecting in the orb, and gently pressing that palm against your heart and placing that orb into your heart space. And holding it for just a moment, continuing to feel your gratitude and love for that vision. And now slowly bringing your left palm that is holding the other orb full of your creative vision, and placing that also into your heart space. Holding it there. And as you have now both of your palms over your heart and your creative visions secured within your heart, I offer you the following affirmations for this Pisces new moon and invite you to speak them aloud after me. I am a creator being. I am open to all possibilities. I am the bridge between imagination and reality. I am capable of sensing my vibrationally aligned potential. We'll repeat them 3 times. I am a creator being. I am open to all possibilities. I am the bridge between imagination and reality. I am capable of sensing my vibrationally aligned potential. I am a creator being. I am open to all possibilities. I am the bridge between imagination and reality. I am capable of sensing my vibrationally aligned potential. Just breathing gently into your heart space. Adding more love, feeling more love for your creations in their pre-manifest state. They are tender and vulnerable in this state, and so you are responsible for protecting your vision, honoring the feeling of your vision until it manifests in the physical realm. And I invite you to make a promise, a commitment to yourself on this day to protect and love your creations, your creative vision, for as long as necessary until it materializes. Gently releasing your palms back to your knees or your lap. And softly moving your fingertips and your toes. Bringing yourself back here to this present moment. And as you are ready, I welcome you to open your eyes. And I would invite you to share how you feel and express yourself in the chat. I am so grateful to each and every one of you for joining me in this movement today. I'm very excited about this Pisces new moon. So the actual lunar apex is going to be this weekend. I believe it's on the 10th, but depending on time zones, it might be on the 9th for some people. But this Saturday, Sunday, it would be a great idea if you wanted to revisit your creative visions and anchor in the knowing that you are a creator being, and that if you feel it, it can become, and that the teachings of Piscean energy is that paradox of reality begins as imagination. And in that knowing of that metaphysical principle, we release this idea of blind faith, and instead we anchor our faith in the feeling of what we feel in our hearts, and know that if we feel it in our hearts, then it is possible to manifest in the material realm. So continue to anchor in a new definition of faith in your creative vision, and know that you require no physical evidence and the external. You only require that you feel it genuinely in your heart of hearts. And if you feel it there, and you protect that feeling, and you keep coming back to that feeling over and over and over again, and affirming your power as a creative being, it will manifest, it will materialize, it will come. So thank you for being here. I'm glad that there will be a replay for those of you who want to rewatch the meditation. I know we had some streaming issues with YouTube as well, so I will post this both here on Instagram and on YouTube so that you can access it from either resource. Otherwise, what do I want to say? Let me see. What do we have coming up here? For those of you who are in the Sacred HeARTist portal, this Saturday we are doing our next Creator Beyond the Veil channeling. I am really excited about this one. I respect this creator so deeply, and it's actually been quite humorous how they've been showing up for me. But it's Jim Henson. We're going to be channeling Jim Henson this weekend. So I'm very excited about that. And for those of you who aren't in the portal yet, please know that an edited version of the channeling will be made available on YouTube soon. But we will be doing that live this Saturday. And then next week we have I believe next week we're talking about Aries season. Because can you believe it? It's already going to shift signs. Again, time is just like going so fast. Let me double check my calendar. Yeah. So next Wednesday's live, we're going to be, I'll be sharing some channel messages for Aries season. So I will sit with that this weekend and get some messages for Aries. If you haven't watched the Pisces ones, they're really, really good. And I have been definitely seeing them show up in reality for me this Pisces season. So that is over on YouTube if you've missed it. We still have like 2 weeks left of Pisces season. So you might want to check that video out in case you missed it. It was really good. Oh, and also, you'll be the first to know that I have something really special, a collaborative project coming up with an amazing creator and healer on the 16th of March. I'm going to be sharing more details about it soon, but it's going to be like a little mini retreat that we'll be doing not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 16th. So I'm very excited to bring on this new creator and this new healer into our space and to allow them to just share their gifts with us all so that we can enter into spring feeling really refreshed and kind of dust off all the winter muck and guck that kind of got stuck to us and get rid of all the stagnant energy and just step forward into spring feeling really good and really filled with momentum. So look forward to that. I'm excited to share that with you all and introduce them to this community. So thank you again for watching and being here and being a part of this community. I love you so very, very much. And I am wishing you incredible new moon blessings. Take your dreams big, 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 big. Don't let anything limit you, says Pisces, okay? I love you, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.